Hello and welcome to Beauty to Bank. This is the number one place on the web where beauty professionals learn how to make money without standing behind the chair. My name is Susan Bennett and I am your host, and I will be sharing tips, tricks, motivation, just everything that you need to get started. If for those of you guys who know my story, it has been a long road for me with digital products. And I'm super techie. I'm a super techie kind of person, but it has been a long road for me, and so that's why I'm so passionate about making sure that I am sharing my information with you to help you get there faster. If you are interested in creating and selling digital products, if you're interested in making money without standing behind the chair, if you're interested in creating passive forms of income, you are in the right place. We've got a special show today. We are talking about generational wealth and digital products. So I'm super excited. We even have a special guest here. First of all, let me just make sure, let's do a quick sound check here. Please let me know if you can hear me. Go ahead and type a 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay. Now, the way that this works is that you can actually go ahead and when you make comments, I can share your comments on the screen. This is live, okay? This is actually live. So if something crazy happens, let me know. I'm actually broadcasting live from a new location. So you might see some weird things. We're working out the kinks here, but I want to show up for you guys and I want to share this information with you because, I have a lot of one-on-one calls with people, and one of the main things that I get all the time, one of the main questions I get, one of the main comments that I get all the time is that people are interested in creating generational wealth. Okay, they're interested in creating generational wealth, and so that's why I want to go ahead, and that's why it was important for me to have this talk today. So if you are interested in creating generational wealth, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments. Let me know. Okay, I've got some updates for you, some things that you may or may not have thought of. Of course, for me, I'm gonna always make sure that I have the information for you guys that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so I am in the South. Okay, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So humidity and curly hair is a crazy combination. Okay, but we're gonna jump right in here. All right, while we're waiting for our special guest to join us. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right. And all right. So on here, we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk about digital products and generational wealth. Okay. And this is a really, a very interesting topic. I really haven't seen many people really explain this or talk about this in this way. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Okay. So, and this is a conversation, not a broadcast. I can see Lisa is here. I always recognize Lisa's peace and blessings coming through. All right. So let's talk about why digital products and generational wealth. Okay. So digital products are a great way to build generational wealth because of the low startup cost and the fact that everyone can teach something. Okay. It's a low barrier to entry. Every single person is an expert in something. There is something that you can talk about for an hour or more without doing any research. There's something that that can change somebody else's life. It can make somebody else do something quicker, faster, better, um you know and it's something that you already know. So every single person can do this. It's not like real estate. You might have to have a lot of money to get started, but we're going to have more on that in just a minute. But there's a lot of different things that people might say, well, if I want to start this new business, I need to have $60,000, $100,000, something like that. This is something that it's very low to get started with digital products. Okay, very low startup cost. All right. So this is one of my first things when I think about digital products and generational wealth. One of the first things that I think about is teaching your kids and your family members, right? So to me, when I think about wealth gaps and things along those lines, I'm always thinking about access to information. Okay. Um, okay. And so when I look at that, um, it's important that once you learn something, and that's the important thing, you need to learn something first. Once you learn it, you want to go ahead and pass that information on to your family members and to your kids. So I know everybody doesn't have kids. Now I have a daughter, and so that's why this comes into me. Okay. So hello, 31 Status Nails and Beauty. All right. Okay, so here we go. I have a new intern this summer. This is my daughter, Kennedy Bennett. She is 12 and she has started a new Instagram account just for this and just for, creating and selling her digital products. It's Kennedy, the CEO. All right. And I want to, in case you guys, guys, you guys can do the same thing too. Talk to your accountant about, writing off your kids, and your kids can actually work in your business. So one of the things I've done, you're probably going to want to screenshot this next page, share this, tag somebody else who would be interested in this information, somebody else who's got kids, who's got nieces, nephews, somebody else. It's summertime right now. We've just started this summer, but the summer's going to go very quickly. Okay. So we want to make sure we get everybody up and running with their digital products ASAP. Okay. So I made a list here on this next page where you can actually go ahead and see some of the things that your kids can do for you. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and let me see here. I'm going to take this off so we can see the bottom here. Okay. So here's some things that your kids can do. Okay. In case you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean my kid? Yes, here's some things that your kids can do for you. Okay. Um, they can do video editing. Oh my gosh. Like I actually did a reel recently and my reel performed. It was one of my highest performing reels and my daughter made it. All I did was I gave her, actually just gave her my phone. It was easier. And she just went ahead and edited the video right on my phone. I dropped it as a reel, did a quick voiceover in the Reels app on Instagram. And it was something that was really well received. Okay. So our kids were really blessed because our kids have been spending so much time on the computer. Like our kids are office workers now. Like they literally know how to do all of this stuff. And so it's kind of amazing. Like we don't even realize, what I'm saying, what a blessing it has been. We've complained a lot, but this is actually one of the positive things that actually happened during COVID. Okay. It's one of the exciting things that actually happened during COVID is that kids know how to do all this stuff. Okay. They can answer emails for you. Of course, you would want to give them, some guidance on it. Maybe say, hey, I'm going to let you try this one. Let me see it before you hit the send button, that kind of thing. But they know how to do all this stuff already, and especially anything that has to do with Google. They've been using Google Chromebooks. They've been using Google Drive. I know my daughter has at her school. That's something they teach them at school. And guess what, you guys? At school, my daughter's going, and she's a rising seventh grader. They're actually going ahead and they're even doing Canva at school. Okay. Hey Shayna, welcome. All right. So guess what? Your kids can also send out packages. Okay. You guys know I have my new book, The Digital Game. Okay. So my daughter has actually been sending out the packages. Okay. So I've taught her how to go ahead um, and send out the packages. Okay. I actually taught her how to do that. Um, okay. Um, she can also make phone calls on my behalf. All right. And it's really interesting. Now that is something that we do need to talk to our kids about because they're not used to necessarily working on phones and talking on phones. And so, but that's a great thing that they can do. Okay. My daughter's actually been working for my father-in-law in his trucking company, making phone calls for a couple summers now. Okay. They can create graphics, like I mentioned, Canva. They can do presentations. I mean, listen, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but when my daughter wants something and she's trying to convince me, she will actually go ahead and actually create a she will actually go ahead and create a presentation for all the reasons why I should let her do something. Okay. So they definitely know how to create these Google Drive presentations, and all those Google um, apps are actually free. Okay, they're free. She's working on a website for her online school. She knows how to schedule meetings. She can schedule Zoom calls. They've been using Zoom. She can check my direct messages on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. She knows how to respond to questions. If she doesn't know how, guess what? This is an opportunity for them to say, hey, I see that there's a question here. Okay. How do I respond? Whether it's on social media, or she's actually able to respond to the questions and the comments that I get in my online school. Okay. When my students have questions, they can actually go ahead and they can actually type their questions in the chat right below the video. And so that's something that she can go ahead and manage. Okay. They can organize your pictures and videos. So a lot of times people are saying hey, I don't have enough content, but my daughter, she already knows how to use Google Drive. Google Drive is free, you guys, and she can actually go ahead. and she can go ahead and say, hey, these are, this was my mom at the Premiere Orlando show. This was her in at Paris Fashion Week with Kim Kimball. Here she is, at a different event here. And she can put those things into folders so that way it's easy to access. Now she has access to those things as well, and she can create the videos again. So you see, there's so many things that we're we're sitting on content. We might not have enough time to do it, but our kids can do it for us. Okay. They can create content. One of the things that I'm going to have Kennedy do, she doesn't know yet, you guys, don't tell her. Okay. But I'm going to have her creating some of the content on my page. I'm going to have her, and in turn, she'll be learning about creating and selling digital products. So I'm going to put together some scripts, and she can go ahead, and she's the one that can talk about, her scripts, and she can talk about digital products. Okay. And there'll be content on my page. Guys, come on now. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't want to go live. I don't have any makeup. I'm not ready. Guess what? Your kid can go live for you. Ooh, you guys didn't think about that, right? So stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's coming. Okay. They can go live. They can create reels for you. They can create posts. She can actually repurpose content. She can go back and say, hey, I found some old pictures. We're going to go ahead and take this and turn this into a reel. It's a video. Let's turn it into a reel, that kind of thing. Okay. And she's also going to be creating her own digital products. Okay. So this is just a few things. I'm actually going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to go ahead and pause on this part because I want to go ahead and bring in our special guest. Okay, we're gonna stay tuned. We've got more coming on this. Okay, let me go ahead and bring in our special guest here. Now, I don't know how much I could say about this person here. Welcome, Cassandra. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can. I sure can. Now give me just 1 second. I tried something. All right, there we go. Ooh, I just made this. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Okay.
Okay, working on that.
It works. I know we had to have a little pre-meeting here, okay? So yeah, so Cassandra, I could say so many things about Cassandra. She's been one of my she was in my inaugural six-figure business system group. She's been in my group coaching program since the January 2021. She's one of the OGs here.
OG.
Yes, and so she's had a long road to digital products, but I wanted to have you on this show because I want to celebrate your digital products, but also I know that generational wealth is your why. So
It's
can you please just take over? I know I did not do you justice, but please can you take over and
okay.
share
Well, let
some
me
with
give
us?
you a little bit of my background. So, I am a hairstylist. Obviously, I'm in the shop. And it was I joined Season Six Figure Business System back in that January of 20 whatever. But that was like at the heart of the pandemic when we were all trying to figure out what is it that the next thing for us? Where is our business going? What are we going to do in our lives to because I mean obviously we've been shut down by this pandemic and things are just shifting in our financial situation. So I joined the Six Figure Business to try to change the way that I was doing business. I was teaching classes in the classroom, but it was like we couldn't do that any longer. So like everybody else, it was like that hard shift and reality check on my business and my foundation of my business. So going through the program, of course, it just really taught me to stop being a procrastinator, first of all, and
It's not
also
easy.
that my value is worth something. Like I can put the things that I know how to do into a digital product so I can sell that value at face value. Oh, excuse me, and then have something to create generational wealth. I needed that money to come in, and it was at a drip. And then I felt like that being a hairstylist, there were so many other hairstylists out here that are trying to do the same thing. So that's why I kind of took that back step in the program, and it took me so long because I didn't want to be like everybody else, and I needed to find something more that was I could relate to help other people with. So I went into doing property management, and I didn't even think that this was something until
Yep.
Stephen said one day after I shared my win with her. So I went into property management, but I was doing this while I was trying to figure out what to sell as a digital product in the beauty industry. So as I was doing this and doing my research and acquiring the knowledge that I needed to do kind of like short-term rentals or Airbnb, I found a path for me where I got into doing contracts with traveling professionals. And then one day I shared my win. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just share this with everybody in the group because I was feeling good about it. And yeah, I shared my win, and that's when Season was like, you know what? Wait a minute, you can put this into a product. You need to be this. This is the value that you need to put into a digital product to share to the world. So that's what I did, and I followed the steps, her whole guide, to help me to create this digital product. And that's where we're at now. But it wasn't just the product, though. It was the value of the product. That it's real. I'm a real person, and I'm showing you the real numbers here on the screen of the contracts that I've been able to obtain. So just knowing how to put that business or that value of that business into a digital product and then be able to give it to the world for resale, resale value. That was amazing. Okay. Season, the way her brain thinks, I'm telling you, if you haven't joined, you need to join now because definitely this is something that will help you to manifest the things that you think about, the things that you're doing already, and put that into real life world. I mean, into your real world, into your bank accounts. It definitely helped me to shift my mindset because I was stuck, and it helped me to understand the things that I was already going after to get, that I can get more, and then I can help somebody else in the long run. And then and still that thing to create that generational wealth, to have more time and freedom for my family. Like that was the best thing, like to be able to put this thing on autopilot and really take this to the next level. And then also, I mean, I don't know what your spiritual background is, but God is always blessing me, so I know that I have to recycle that. And just being a truthful, honest person, and just, I was tired of being defeated, and trying to
Hmm.
find, a way to overcome these hurdles and obstacles. So that blood, sweat, tears, and all of that I had to do to get where I'm going, and then with the help of Season, being able to be, that coach, that mentor, that big sister, that pusher. It's just like a workout. You need a trainer to help you, to push you to keep going and keep doing. And yeah, she was everything. So definitely been
Oh, I
able to
appreciate that.
that into my digital products and put that out to everybody else. And I just want to help everybody else. I want to push you. I want to, be your cheerleader and get you started with your short-term rentals. So my product is the short-term rentals, as you can see on the
Hmm.
screen there. We're getting contracts with traveling professionals that stay long term. Okay, so what I mean by that is that I have a property I've obtained without owning the property, and I sublease that property so that to traveling professionals, so that they can, travel for work, or of course, there's a whole other background to that, but they travel for work, and they need a place to stay, and I house them for 100 nights. And I charge them up front the fee of 100 nights, and I get paid up front. With And I started this with little to no money, and I'm showing other people how, the mistakes that I've made in my journey, in understanding, okay, this is what I want to do, instead of doing this as Airbnb, doing the 1 night 2 night stays. I mean, that's okay. You can use the same formula that I've come up with in my strategy to do that. But if you really want to get the big payout, I'm going to show you how to get these contracts. I know my life is busy, and everybody else's lives are busy as well. So in order to, kind of balance that busy life and try to run a business and have these digital products, I needed to have something that was, set in stone, and the contracts are set in stone. So definitely, if you tune in, I think my Facebook page, my Instagram page, Beyond Basic underscore business is my Instagram. You'll find the links there to my page. To my class that we're hosting this Wednesday, June the 29th at 9 p.m. And we're going to show you how to get to the bag. Okay. I'm excited. Like I said, all the mistakes that I've made in my journey to, really achieving the financial freedom that I wish for myself and my family. I've been able to put that into, a whole strategy, a whole plan, a whole guide that's going to help you to get to that level too in less than 30 days. So we did this
Mhm.
in less than 30 days. I'm excited that, I'm able to share, that win with you all so that we can all be winning. So check me out, look through my page. I'm gonna show you how to get to the money, how to get the contracts, how to start your business, and just really shifting your mindset. Like Season has been there for me to help shift my mindset into a position where it's like, you know what, I just got to get up and go. You can't sit still and just expect the victory to come to you if you're not putting in the work for the victory. So
Mhm.
yes,
I definitely am a pusher. I'm a pusher.
yes, you are.
But let me but let
Right?
me
You have
let's talk
something to prove.
about,
We all have something to prove, right? So prove it to
yeah, but to
yourself.
ourselves, right? To ourselves,
Yeah,
right? And I think that was for this, like for many reasons, your short-term rentals, your online course teaching about the vacation rentals, all of that stuff, that was something that you had to prove to yourself. That was a
I
lot of
did.
mental stuff for yourself. And I really wanted to have you on here to talk about generational wealth because that's your why.
That's my why. Yes, as a single parent, a cheerlead mom, we travel, we compete, and that was like expensive. So
Yeah,
not having
for
a lot of
sure.
support for that, it
Hmm.
pushes you. When your
Yeah.
back is up against the wall, and we're always chasing money. Who isn't chasing money right now? Gas is high,
Mhm.
inflation is real. And I was just like, you know what, I need more. We all need more. So that was my why, so that I could be there for my kids and really start pushing, for the next thing, because we don't know where the world's going to go. Like I said, I met Season in the pandemic. I was like, what am
Right.
I going to do? Okay. So yes, we're trying to get to the money. We're always chasing the money. And I found my comfort in this, and I can scale in this, and I'm going to show you how to scale in this too. So this
Yep. And I
Wednesday,
love
June
this.
29th,
Yes, I've taken your class. I
I
have taken
know.
her class and it's really amazing. I actually got my parents to take her class as well. Generation, I'm going back, I'm pulling them with me. I'm doing,
Yes,
usually we think about generational wealth, we think about it going forward. But for me, I'm pulling my parents, I'm like,
it's
come
like
on, guys,
rock climbing. Somebody got to
yeah.
make it to the top. We got to throw it back. Got to throw it back.
Right. And so, our class is really amazing. And one thing I love about, so Cassandra, like, so you're teaching short-term rentals specifically to traveling nurses. So basically, the way I like to think about it is it's almost like you're able to charge the Airbnb prices for
Exactly.
vacation rentals, but instead of having 1 and 2 night stays, now you're having 100 night stays. So that way
Exactly.
it just makes it so easy. And one thing I love so much about what you talk about is you don't own the properties that you're renting out, right?
I don't. I don't. So I don't have to worry about the maintenance. I don't have to worry about cutting the grass, the wear and tear. I could just call, hey, something's broke, fix it, and that's not me having to worry about going to hire somebody. Like I know it's going to get done and it's going to be professional. And I don't, that worry is not in my bag.
Right. I love it. I love it. And so, I mean, I just think it's such a needed course. And just the fact that you're able to now also, you can create this
Yes.
income from your vacation rentals and you can teach other people because I remember you were saying that it took you a long time to learn this.
Oh, it did. It did. So as I was, going through our course trying to understand what it was I was going to sell as a digital product, I was also doing this too. And so like so many other people, that ADD kick in and, your mind is just all over like, okay, what can make me money now? So as I was, trying to do my self discovery, what it was that was a digital product that I could teach to other people, I was really building the plane and the
Hmm.
plane was taking off and I didn't know that that was the thing that I was going to be driving and driving that into other people's homes now and or into their worlds, and showing them, look, this is how I built this is what I was doing. But just with the strategies that I learned in the six-figure business, it helped me to hone in on that thing that I was, driving for, and that was building the knowledge base for learning how to, run this business as a short-term rental company. Like Susan said, it is like Airbnb because if you want, we're going to list in places on platforms like Airbnb. But I mean, it's up to you. My comfort was not having to worry about 1 and 2 night stays. My comfort was having a contract that
Hmm.
was 100 nights and or more, where I don't have to worry about, that, running back and forth, checking people in and out, or the cleaning, because you got to do the
Hmm.
cleaning too. So that's a whole
Yeah,
nother
you got to
story.
clean up.
Yes. But I mean,
Uh-huh.
you see the payout. The payout was wonderful, and I can, and that's just that was just like I think those prices were just in the summer and the spring. So the summer rate is way different, and you
Hmm.
can price accordingly. That's the good thing about this the flexibility to make what you want out of it, and you're not set at okay, well I have to just take this. But you paying yourself and you're paying the bills too, but you're paying yourself and you're freeing up time. Who don't want to free up time so that they can go to the doctor and get checked out or just take a nap?
Well, and I love the way that that you have it set up because even with Airbnb, if even if you have a really popular property, then you have to keep having people come clean it, and there's a lot of calls and checking in, all that
Exactly.
kind of stuff. But with this, it seems like people are there, they're working, they need short-term a place to stay, and so it's
They
kind of
just want a
giving.
home away from home, comfortable and just, set it's their home.
Mhm. And so we've got some questions and some comments. So Simona
Okay.
asked, "What time and date again for the class?"
Yes, it is June the 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you click on my Instagram page, Beyond Basic underscore business, the link is in the bio, and it's also on some of the content that I posted as well.
Oop. And actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and this is me. I am messing it up. Hold on. I'm gonna fix it, y'all. I'm gonna fix it. Bear with me,
I know
y'all.
because Season is the fixer, man. I'm telling you, Season a
Yeah,
bad girl. The way your
I
mind
gotta
works.
it's working. It's working. It's working. I got a new setup, so I kind of got to get used to where everything is now. I got new headquarters for the social barber, so but
But
let me go ahead and
growth,
share this.
that's the
What'd you
growth of
say? Yep, that's growth. Time to move. Okay. So if you go on over to her Instagram page, I did put it in the description as well, the link to her Instagram. And you can actually go click the link in her bio and you can actually see here. And you're offering replays. So even if they're not available on
right. Even if you're
Wednesday,
not available,
right?
yep, 60 days on the replay.
Uh-huh. And so it says the live class is on Wednesday, June 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I love that you're talking about it right here. Like we want to learn short-term rentals, but you're
Yeah,
afraid of, always having to get new clients and just kind of addressing those up front. And I think it's important because a lot of times people count themselves out. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? People
they
are
do.
counting
They do.
themselves out. Yep.
Because the enemy,
Because
the enemy plays on on your mind and other people around you to count you out. So definitely that's it's the mindset. Don't count yourself out, count yourself in, do something for yourself. Hey, you have something to prove to you.
And I love that you're sharing her wins. So it's so funny. We were in our weekly meeting and she's like, "Hey guys, I just got my first $7,000 check." So in less than 2 months, she's gained more than $13,000 doing the
Yeah,
short-term vacation rentals
yeah,
with property that she does not own, you guys.
yeah.
Okay. And so you guys definitely want to check this out. If you, so you're going to understand all of this stuff here. Make sure that you check this out. I'm going to hang out. Can you hang out for a little while, Cassandra?
I can.
Okay, so I started this presentation already talking about, generational wealth, and I want to kind of continue that with you. And what we can do is, we can hang out that way. If anybody has any questions, you're here to answer their questions also.
Okay, sure.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Let me go ahead and pull this other presentation back up. I really, 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 I don't know if you had a chance to, before you joined, I don't know if you were able to see, I was kind
Oh,
of talking about, my daughter being my intern, and these are some of the things that she's been
yeah.
doing for me. So have you had a chance to be able to get your daughter involved? I know she's so
Yes.
busy though with
So
cheer.
yes. Well, I mean, it's not, but you got to teach the kids young, teach them
Yeah.
now, and then they'll be into business before they're ready for business. Okay. Yes, I mean, even I can say to this yesterday, I had her, running the credit card machine, and we had like a little yard sale because I said, hey, your birthday's coming up, you're getting big. We got too much stuff. So we created a little flyer, like you said. I think you mentioned the Canva. I showed her how
Yep.
to do the Canva. She made a little flyer, and then she printed it out on her printer, and she put, had it taped up on a little table stand. And yeah, and then I have like the I use a square reader with the tap pay, and
Mm-hmm.
she was checking people out, like, because they were so impressed because she's only 9 and she's
Uh-huh.
running this little business and she's
Birthday
running
on
credit
Saturday.
cards. Yes. So I was excited because, like you said, when you show them just a little bit, they're already on the technology. I mean, Roblox, creating, architectural designs.
You're
I mean,
right.
the way their mind works. Yeah.
Right. And
So
you know what's so interesting though, and I kind of feel something that I've noticed. I don't know if this has been for you. So, I grew up very poor. And so,
yeah.
a lot of times and my husband did as well. And what's very interesting is a lot of times, I feel like we give our kids too much. I had to learn, I had to earn everything myself.
Yeah.
Some years I bought my own school clothes. I always worked. Like, I mean, when I was in 8th grade, I was babysitting like crazy. When I was in high school, I had 2 jobs. I've always worked really hard. And so, I feel like, oh, my husband and I are always giving my daughter so many things, but we're starting to realize, like, wait a minute, we need to make you earn it so you can
Right.
appreciate,
Right.
that's when you start getting kids saying, oh, this is only $60. I'm like, well, let me see your $60, right?
Right. That part.
So and it gives them a sense of pride also to be able to earn their own money. They appreciate it. It gives them a better sense of, oh, well, this is how much
Yeah.
this costs. Like, I had to earn it. Now we can teach them, like, I was taught to trade my time for money. That's all, my
Right.
parents knew. That's all we knew at that time. But I think that, even understanding we have to work to get something. So even if they don't have to trade their time for money, but doing that, so one
Yeah.
of the things, so and of course this is based on each child's capacity, but
Yeah. That too.
I use Kajabi, and if with Kajabi, if you sign up to be an affiliate, they give you a second Kajabi site. So that site you could use for your daughter, your son, whoever
Yeah.
you want to
They can run
use,
their
for
own little
everybody, right?
business.
Yeah, they can start teaching their own classes. Like, somebody was telling me that their daughter makes lip gloss, and they were like, "Oh, can I teach a class about, can my daughter teach a class about how to create a lip gloss business?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Stuff like that. Your daughter can teach people how to run the
Oh, I
card
know.
reader,
I
how
mean,
to
they're
do,
on
yeah.
YouTube. So think about, they're on YouTube showing other kids how to play these games. I mean, that's a whole, once they record themselves and upload that to Kajabi, and then start, like, a little course where, hey, if you want to get to this next level, buy this. I mean, I'm
Yep.
spending money on Roblox, digital currency, for what? For more
Right.
digital currency?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, another way that I thought about with digital products, and this was actually something that a member of the Six Figure Business System, Veronica Best, something that she pointed out to me, right? So another way to create generational wealth with your digital product is to create a platform, right? And
Yeah.
so yes, I'm teaching my daughter, and she can have her own platform. She can sell her own products on her own website, but when you create a platform, just like mine is the social barber, right? So I've got
Right.
all these digital products. I've got, yes, I have the six-figure business system. I have one-off mini courses. I have a membership. I have a lot of other, experiences that people can have with me. I have VIP days. Okay. So if somebody wants to book a VIP day with me, right? And so it's very interesting because when you create a platform, just my platform is the social barber, now I have something that can exist without me. I have other people. I can train my family members to be coaches in my platform. I can teach them, what I know. They can become educators under the social barber platform. So it's deeper than that, okay? Let's see. So all right. So digital product, and by the way, Cassandra, I don't know if you know, you're on mute.
You said what
There
now?
we go. Oh, you're on mute. I didn't know if you knew you were on mute.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. No problem, no problem. Okay.
I didn't,
So
technical.
I Yeah, I know. New platform, new platform. Okay. So
Right.
digital products are big business. And I think sometimes, in 2020, one big mistake that a lot of people made is that people kind of just ran to digital products like, hey, I can't work, so I'm just going to do this really quick, like DoorDash, instead
Right.
of thinking about it as this is my digital empire. This is going to be a huge component of my income. I have so far to go with these digital products. People are just looking at it as a way to fill in the gaps while barbershops, hair salons, and nail salons were closed, right? People just they and then as soon as everything opened back up, people just abandoned their digital platforms. They abandoned their students and just ran all the way back. And you should. I'm never telling anybody to quit standing behind the chair, behind the table, behind the brush,
Right.
whatever it is that you do. I'm not telling you to stop doing that. But what I am telling people is that this is the business and we should give it the attention that it deserves. I know that you've done so much with that. Can you talk about, the business part of all of this?
Yes, the business part of all of this is going back. The foundation is everything. So I was
Yeah.
listening to, I be in Clubhouse, and people be talking, and we were talking about like foundation and structural settings. So think about these structural settings and how sound they are against the storms and other weathering climatic conditions. Now your business should be the same. Like your business and foundation should be strong. It should be able to withstand, like, I mean, all the I's dotted, T's crossed, because I mean that is the foundation is that of anything that you do. And your business, if it can't stand in its own 2 feet, if somebody can't call and verify, or some information is crisscrossed down the line somewhere, and it just it eliminates you from being able to withstand a lot of these weathering conditions. Like, we just had a pandemic. We just got over COVID, I think, and we don't know what the future is to hold. We're paying for somebody else's war, and I mean, I can go into a lot of things, but the foundation, though, a lot of people are suffering because their foundation isn't strong, so they can't, migrate to the next thing or adapt to the next, and environment. So that was what I had to do. COVID showed me that the pieces that I had of the puzzle, they was there, but they just didn't quite, mesh. And I got it together quick. So that helped me to elevate in other ways. So knowing that, like I said, all those mistakes that I made, I've been able to put back into helping other people in their business and creating those LLCs, getting those business email addresses, putting,
Hmm.
the ENI and the entities and the
Hmm.
different partnerships and things and corporations together. Like,
Hmm.
we have to come together and make sure that we're right, that your foundation is solid, that all the I's is dotted, T's is crossed, that your bank accounts match, all the information that you're stating, that this is your business. Your business is your baby, right? When
Yeah.
you're born, we're born with a name, a last name, a social security number, and all the things that start your journey into life off right. So the same thing, these same principles have to be applied to your business. And I mean, it's so important, especially when you're wanting to get, a lot of people wanted to get like those PPP loans or those
Hmm.
grants and things. But when they went to, check off, okay, well, tell me more about your business. Let me, see the financial statements, or let me see the records of your bank statements, and see how well your business is doing from one point of its, time to now. Let's compare those things. And a lot of people didn't have those things in place. So it's so important that we, come together as people and understand that if we're going to be entrepreneurs, we got to work just like these businesses and these structural towers. We got to set ourselves up, sound and mind, and really run these things like a business. We got to stop interchanging or intermingling our personal and our business, because it's a new age. It's a new day. We're not, in the point where, things are just coming to us any longer. Things are like being harder, because it's like, okay, we have to do things by the book. We're going to check off to make sure that this business is a business, and make sure that if this is, a credible business, that we do want to do business with it. So if your credibility as a person and your business are not, in line, then you're not going to survive, because that's where that's what it's boiling down to, where people are checking off to make sure the credibility of not just the business but the person, are credible, so we can do more business and get more funding. I mean, it's just
For sure.
it's just we got to do the right thing.
Yep, and it's so interesting though, because one of the things, one of the things that you, um, one of the things that you said about, birthing, I have a class actually called Birthing Your Business, and it talks
Right.
about all those things, creating all those things. So it's so interesting that, that you talked about that,
But that's the
and so
foundation to anything.
for
You're going to hear that
sure.
across the board, period.
And if you don't have it, if you don't have those things, right? If you're not running it like a business, if you don't have like a regular schedule, right? People are
Right.
acting like, a lot of times when people are coming to me, that's one of the things that the first thing that I put there is because a lot of people are coming to me and they're, it's like people want it to happen to them. Does that
Right.
make sense? People want digital products to happen to them,
Right. They
but
just
you
want
have
to
to
dream
make
it
it.
and it just happens. It's handed to you. It's like, no, you got to put the work out.
Yes, it's just like anything else that you want to do. If you want to, say, hey, I want to know how to do hair color, vivid hair color. I want to know how to do the perfect fade. I want to, anything that you want to know how to do, you have to practice. You have to learn. You have to perfect, but you have to actually put in the work. You have
You
to actually
do.
the thing,
It's a,
right?
it's like a workout. You can't just go buy a new body. This ain't the body. You can't just go buy a new body, but you got to put the work into this one.
Right, for sure. And then also, I wanted to talk about processes and procedures, right?
Yep.
So if it's a business and we're talking about generational wealth, so now we're talking about, having more people come into it. So the more that you have, standard operating procedures, I came from a tech background and a huge financial or institution. And so always having all those processes and procedures put together, that's really important. That's why some of the things that I've implemented into my programs, I have a knowledge base. A lot of people don't know this. So I have, if this happens, this is how you fix it. And that's for my team to run it. I've got videos that are, I put one of the things that I did is I created a course called Help the Social Barber. This course is only for other people who work for me. Okay. And so
Right.
that way, if something happens, they can go in there. So they know how to send out mass text messages. They know how to, respond to the comments on, for the students in my online school. Right. So these are just some of the process and procedures, right? You talked about the LLC, you talked about the business bank account. A big thing for me, and this is something that I talked about in my new book, The Digital Game. A big thing for me is you have to plan for income,
Yeah, you do.
just like as they say, you understood the assignment, right? You've got your class coming up. If guys, this is something a lot of people, make it seem like you create a digital product and you just put it out there and people are going to buy it,
Right.
and maybe they'll buy it the first time, but how do you get those consistent sales? And to me, when
Right.
I think about income, I'm like, we got bills every month, right?
Every month.
So we need to make money with our digital products every month. That's how it becomes income. Okay. So we have to plan for it. So just like Cassandra has her class on a Wednesday, she's got a class on Wednesday. Guess
Yes.
what? Okay, there's no limit to how much money that she can make during, not trying to be in your pockets, Cassandra, but there's no limit when you have your digital products. You got your tech set up properly, you got your automations, right? So when I talk about automations, a lot of people are like, well, I'll just teach a class. No, you have to have the automations because guess what? People sign up after you start teaching your class. It is
Right.
so annoying. It's the most, I mean, it's a blessing always have a student, but it's annoying because what happens is your class, what time does your class start?
At 9. And it's a
9.
good
Okay.
time. It's a
It
good
is. It's a
time. You done
great
got
time. I
time
do
to
9
come
o'clock.
home,
I was,
settle, unwind, and get ready.
and you got time for your West Coast people to join too.
Right,
They're gonna have
exactly.
to rush a little bit, but it's time. It's a good time for everybody, right?
Right.
So what happens is, I start my class a lot of times at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then what happens? Somebody will buy 9:05, 9:10, and then they'll start calling me, DMing me,
Right.
texting me, and I'm
I
like,
can't get
you
in.
know what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm doing. And so that's why I always make sure to have automation set up so that it instantly they're gonna get the email with the link to join, all that kind of stuff, just like you guys have learned in the six-figure business system. You have to, have all that stuff set up on autopilot. Job titles and descriptions. If you just kind of like, one thing that a big mistake I've noticed people doing is they're just throwing bodies at a problem, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I'm really swamped, so I'm just gonna start hiring a whole bunch of people. And
Right.
the problem with that is that now you're paying people that don't have anything to do. So having those job titles, those descriptions, and kind of letting people know like, hey, these are the types of things that we need. So
Right. And that's the other thing too. Like if you don't know all the different working parts of your business, you can't hire somebody to work those parts
right.
for you because then you'll be out of the loop and then you'll run into complications because they don't know they don't know the direction. They don't know what you want because they're just going to do what they think is to be right. And it might not be right because, not every business is the same. And I don't want to go into a lot of technicality, but just, the body's got to be working together. It's got one brain, and the one brain needs to control all functions, and then hire people to control on the strength that they can direct that person to do what they need to do.
Yep. And we got another comment here. I will go ahead, and Teresa said the building foundation is training ground for CEOs.
Yes, it is. It is. And I mean, we who don't want to be a CEO? I mean, we all want that, but you got to put the work in. It's got. I think another person said it best. We have to be working. I mean, servant leaders. You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be able to serve, and you have to be able to
Mhm.
lead because the service part comes into knowing what to do, how to do it, and knowing that how if you were to let somebody else step into that role, you know how to train them in that position, and being the leader is training them in that servant position. So and that's just how we build CEOs by showing and training up those people that we want to be in the positions of operating our corporations.
All right. So we've got Seven the Barber said great combo. I think I shared Teresa said necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Right.
Yes, for sure. So guys,
Okay.
yes, please go ahead and share this. I know that this information, this content is gonna really bless somebody. And Cassandra, like, thank you for hanging out here.
Of course.
Let's see here. So one of the things though is that if somebody is looking to create generational wealth with their digital products, I do have my six-figure business system. I see a lot of people in here that are part of the group, and it's just the system that I created. It took me, gosh, kind of 5 years to kind of figure out. But in this system, it's everything that I wish that I had had. It's everything that somebody
Right.
needs. Like what I always talk about, pushing somebody off of that 10-foot diving board. Okay, you can go ahead. This is not for everybody. I do have a link in the description where you can book a discovery call with me to see if this would be a good fit for you. I've also went ahead. I did link Cassandra as well, her information. And guys, also I also have the link to my new book, the digital game. And this book was very interesting and kind of like that was something that was a long, long time in the making for myself as well, because in that book, I'm really kind of talking about the things that caused me to take a long time to make the six
Right,
figures.
that part.
And it was, because I'm like, hey, it's not the tech part. Spoiler alert. Okay. It's not the tech
Right.
part. So if you're not technical, don't worry. It was not the tech part, but just sharing those things. So, guys, thank you so much, Cassandra. I'm
Of
so glad that you
course.
could join me here. I think people are really enjoying this conversation. People are going to watch the replay. Stay tuned in. Make sure that you guys go ahead and tag her, right? So that
Yes,
she can go ahead
tag
and
me.
answer your questions.
And
Follow.
and follow me, because I'm
Mhm.
constantly growing and developing in my own. And I just share my journey with you so that you can know. I'm, like I said, I'm a real person. I'm not that person. We got so many people out here that just fake it till you make it, and this is the real. You getting all the real behind the scenes, and the real truth to how to get your business and short-term rental started.
Yes, and I love like Cassandra, because Cassandra likes to help people. She really does. Like that's, I can just relate to her so much on this, because she really, just even in her class, she was like, "Hey, you guys can book a one-on-one with me if you guys want to, if you guys want me to speak on your behalf, you
On
guys,
your
I
behalf,
can do
yes.
that for you guys." She gave the scripts and everything in the class, but she was even like, "Hey guys, I can go ahead, and if you guys need more help," this was not something she had planned to do. I mean, just guys, listen, just take the class. Okay, just take the class. I've already taken it. I already know it's amazing. So for sure, just take the class. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cassandra.
Of
Appreciate
course.
you. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and take off this new thing that I've got over here, getting used to my new platform. All right. And guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Beauty to Bank. We were talking about generational wealth and digital products together. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram, or join my texting community. All that information is in the description. And join me next Monday for Beauty to Bank. This is the number one place on the web where beauty professionals learn how to make money without standing behind the chair. I am your host, Susan Bennett. I am the CEO of The Social Barber, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.